since I quit playing.
Oh wait, no. Samus wins hands down. Samus has the ice beam.
Right.
Dragon's weak to ice. You're dead.
And it's flying.
Whoa! Book from the get-go here. That's gonna give us access to desert, and of course give us the opportunity to check that pedestal really early.
Yeah, I think the early check's going to depend on how trolly do they think the seat's going to be. And this is a game 3, so this is a bot-rolled seed.
Of course, we were aware that Uncle was going to have a sword for us, but this next chest coming up, we have no such guarantee about. And it's just 10 arrows. Once again, in the V30 logic, with the removal of the quiver and bomb upgrades, the number of just arrow drops and bomb drops in chests has gone up significantly.
Now, since this is standard, one of the questions is, are they going to farm any bombs?
I mean, I would. Though it's likely that I wouldn't start trying to farm bombs in earnest until I reach the sewers, because of that aforementioned increase in bomb frequency in the chests.
Looked like Brewers spent a little bit more time to kill those first 2 guards up front, but there's still no bombs.
And there's that small key in the chest, guaranteed to be here somewhere, and that's it today.
And that means we have 2 more chests before the back half where we need those bombs.
All right, Jet setting up for the... Oh, no! Jet takes a death to the ball and chain guard.
Yeah, that first swipe he made hit the ball and chain. I think that set off his rhythm.
That is pretty unfortunate. Quite a bit of a time loss for Jet. So that puts JP sort of firmly in the lead here. And of course, this lead will, become much, much more nebulous as the rest of the seed proceeds, and we get way, way more items. There's also no actual point in death warping. I don't think he was trying to death warp, because if in standard, if you die after grabbing Zelda, you spawn back in the cell.
Yeah, and then if you die in the sewers, you respawn at the front of the sewers.
And if you die in the sanctuary, you die in real life. That's not true.
I hope not.
So Jet is far and away the highest ranked player in this group right now, with a record of 10-3, but we'll still be playing to increase that bracket seating, whereas JP is working real hard to secure that second slot.
Now, with as many guards as we've seen killed, I'm almost convinced that bombs are not even in their drop hole right now.
That could be very true. We've got some snakes to deal with here, and JP, hey, there we go. 4 bombs for JP.
That is a very good find, and we will be able to see the back.
And we know now that we have a burrito on hands, which means we will be opening that sanctuary chest.
That also means there will be 3 items in the back here.
Yeah, I don't believe Jet can miss the bracket because none of the runners can reach 10 wins in his group. Or none of the remaining runners.
Yep, that is correct. And nothing worthwhile in the back this time.
All right, BrewersFanJP finishing escape with a time of about 6:24 and picking up 300 rupees, which is quite a bit of rupees to start the seed.
Yep, that's your bottle vendor. There's your map check.
Yep, I saw a crystal 4 at Eastern. I saw either a 5 or 6 at Desert, and I saw 7 at Hera. So all crystals in the light world.
Yep, we got a pendant-filled dark world this time.
Which that definitely at least removes one possible item from the pedestal.
Yeah. And that tier 2 tree pull, just a bunch of single rupees. Not a lot of help. And hearts from the bush crab, I doubt we'll see that in play.
All right, so 50 rupees on the Lumberjack Cave. Yeah, as it is in all dungeon seeds, we will be clearing all those pendant dungeons either way. There's a single rupee. Those are not as unique in hard mode as they are in normal.
Yeah, hard mode, we had to cut a bunch of heart containers and some heart pieces because you can only go up to 14 hearts.
All right, and JP is skipping the blue rupee, but he is heading up to the pedestal. So we are going to find out what the pedestal has today.
Could we see a bow?
Just a whole lot of nothing. Probably a blue or green rupee. Well, definitely a blue or green rupee, but probably blue. Now, don't despair too much. They're still going to clear those pendant dungeons.
Yeah, but without having to go and pull the ped, I mean,
I mean, is it really worth it? No, the all dungeons goal. Hey, speaking of bow.
Well, I was just a little bit far north there.
And hammer. And cape. And mushroom. All in Kakariko Well.
And the lamp.
Lion's Hut.
They have AGA access already.
And a glove. Are you kidding me right now? Alright, now somebody hand these guys a cane of Samaria so they can do Magic Bat real quick.
the way this seed's handed them stuff, they might just hand them the... Oh, wait. Yeah, they might hand them the powder.
Could very well happen. Now, the Aghanim play is still possible, because the whole, needing the... What the silver air... Get out.
It's hard mode. They only work on Ganon.
But still, I mean, you don't have to go searching for it.
And JP trying to go for the chicken clip doesn't get him through.
All right. Moving on to the back of the tavern. We don't have any bottles yet, so we can't check the sick kid. Bombs acquired in the back of the tavern. That is the single 10 bomb drop.
Yeah, the way things have been going this seed, I was half expecting that to be a vanilla bottle.
And bombs in the library, so we won't be heading back there anytime soon. And it's time to head to the race game. Now, JP will be checking it without going in, and Jet will be doing the same, which in this case turns out to be a pretty good decision. Though it is hard mode, sometimes you want to get as much health as you can.
Yeah, it really depends on how early Dark World is going to be.
And it looks like JP is going to head over toward Eastern Palace with that bow in hand.
It is completely in logic.
Yep, Jet is also following suit.
Now, what would be amazing is if they find Moon Pearl on the way.
Yeah, Moon Pearl. It would be even more amazing if they found the mirror and the Moon Pearl, because then they could do pod as well, and
conveniently do
all
pod
at the same time. Yeah. Hey, there's a bottle. So, anybody want to go run back and do Sick Kid real quick? Nah.
And it was filled with blue goo too. Now, the only catch with potions in hard mode is that they are half as effective, so they only heal up to 7 hearts and half of your magic bar.
Right. So, potentially less than half effective for the heart situation, but not usually. Well, it won't be for the hearts you'll get. That's for sure. You'll only ever get over half, but in normal mode, the hearts might be up to 20, of course. Alright, so just a big 20 in the chest there. That is a nice little arrangement there, because the pots around it are green rupee, blue rupee, and then blue rupee, green rupee. So green, blue, red, blue, green. That's the way it should go.
Hey, that is a nice little arrangement.
Now, of course, in the original game, that's the only 100 rupee drop. So it's also fairly reasonable.
So going through here with the bow and the lamp, once again, this full clear is in logic for them. So we're not doing any of those sequence breaks yet.
Yeah, both of our runners basically taking the same routes here today. Well, we just got the hint on Swamp Palace, and JP just
walked past it.
He sure did.
And knowing that left side swamp is a dud, that's a pretty big hint.
That's like 2.5 minutes worth of time save right there. Yeah, JP might check it as he comes back around, because he's going to have to come check the back here anyway.
Yeah, but you don't always have to do this loop. There are some times where you find all 3 items in the big key early.
Speaking of all 3 items in the big key.
More money!
Alright, JP picked it up. And
Making
again.
sure he picked it up.
And now we head into the back. JP taking care of that guard as well, or the Igor. Get the key, and we will head to Armos. Now, JP is probably going to want to pick up some more arrows. Now, granted, there are plenty of places to do that here in the back of Eastern.
Yeah, but it's still going to cost him 6 arrows to get through, so he's going to be cutting it close.
Yeah, there's 20 in the next room. Along with you might get here. Jet setting up the quick kill here, and oh, he fires left at the very beginning, so he's gonna miss the quick kill. But still, a well done boss fight.
There we got JP. Oh, he gets tagged.
Oh, so close. And that takes care of Eastern for both players.
Yep, and they come out with a grand total of swamp info.
Yep. Speaking of swamp info, it looks like we're about to go check out the dam.
Now, I would expect once they get the hook shot, we'll see a play into Death Mountain.
Yeah, the hook shot would open up quite a bit there. Now, JP is doing an interesting play here. He's doing a fake flipper into the swamp, the near swamp portal, to get him over to the witch's hut. He's going to turn in the mushroom, it looks like.
This might... Well, no, it can't be a play into Zora because he doesn't have 500 rupees. But if he had the rupees, this would be a decent way to go just because he doesn't have the mirror... I mean, not the mirror, the moon pearl or the boots to get into the waterfall.
Just a piece of heart, and JP is actually going to reset with that mushroom on hand so that the fake powder is possible. Now, meanwhile, Jet is doing the Agina's Cave play right after Dam, which is a very viable play as well. Just a piece of heart as well, though.
As long as Desert isn't boots locked, though, Jet can go ahead and clear Desert while he's over here.
Meanwhile, JP is gonna hit up the mini Moldorm
Cave.
It's like, it doesn't matter how you pronounce that vowel, it's correct. So if you say mini Moldorm Cave or many Moldorm Cave, it's the same. 300 rupees and that hook shot. And the flute, excuse me.
See, what are you doing to us here?
I believe it was just 10 arrows on the ledge.
It was just 10 arrows on the ledge. There's the moon pearl.
Well, all right then. And Jet is going to take that and peace out.
And JP's headed back over. Oh, he started from Mini Moldor and is going to go left over to Desert. This is going to be pretty big.
Yeah, I believe he's doing that because he has the book. He's going to forego the Ice Rod Cave check for now and instead go to Agina's Cave and Desert, which is going to work out pretty well for him. Now, Jet, I believe he's about to do the Sick Kid check.
Yeah, this is likely Sick Kid into Village Outcast area.
Well, I imagine that JP, after picking up that Moon Pearl, well, I don't know what he's going to do, but he might decide to go to Death Mountain. Personally, I'd be tempted to hit up Hype Cave real quick, and then maybe go over to Pod.
I definitely like Hype Cave as an idea, because that's 5 items right there. And he can full clear Pod, so they've got options.
All right, so Jet has entered the Dark World. I wonder if we'll get a map check anytime soon. Now, JP is going to go ahead and check the hint over here and see which key is on the torch. It's the big one. So we will be needing those boots, and some cash is held by someone friendly.
That's not so helpful.
I think JP actually hasn't been to Agina's Cave yet. I think that's what he's doing here. He's going out the right-hand side. All right, there's a big heart in Skull Woods. That's one of the 2 items. And big hearts are few and far between in hard mode.
Yeah, if I remember, I think there's only 6 heart containers in hard mode.
I believe that's correct. 6 heart containers, 20 heart pieces, and 3 you start with for a grand total of 14 hearts.
And another big 20 for Jet.
Yep, and Jet's going to piece right on out because that's all the items in Skull Woods. Based on the music, I'm going to say that was a crystal.
And it looks like JP is going to make that Hype Cave check.
And we get a 50 rupee check on top of Bumper Cave, so while we did have access to Bumper Cave, it's not required today. Hookshot was in Mini Moldorm Cave, for those of you asking.
So we have Myra as our green pendant, Swamp Palace and Ice Palace as our other 2 pendants.
So we've got the South Pendant Special.
And Skull Woods is our 6th crystal.
Interesting. So we are going to need that Fire Rod for 2 of those crystal dungeons. Now again, we are going to have to clear all the dungeons here, so it doesn't really matter.
And we got Master Sword and Bombos. Oh, and a bottle for JP.
Yep. With bees! Alright, so JP is actually going to head west here instead of heading over to Pod.
This might be checking Stumpy in the dig game and then might go ahead and make the Death Mountain play. But Jet over in Thieves Town just found the Ice Rod.
Okay. So that is the world's most notorious hidden item, rearing its not so ugly head, I guess. Rearing its pretty head. Has anybody ever reared a pretty head? I don't understand.
Oh, okay now.
Okay, Thieves Town. What are you doing to me?
Just stop it.
So both rods in the front of Thieves Town, along with the map and the big key. And JP digs up the bombs at the digging game. Alright, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a play on Death Mountain here from JP, which might be a little unfortunate. But you never know what we'll find there.
Jet only needs Titan's Mitts and Cane of Samaria in order to clear Turtle Rock now, if I'm reading that right.
Yep. Oh, so JP's activating the flute, of course, because he picked that up in Mini Moldorm Cave as well.
Yeah, that tends to help.
And I imagine we'll get a sick kid check, and then who knows what it'll do.
All right, where's JP going?
I imagine this is a flute to 1. Yep, and we're going to go rescue the old man, see what he's got for us. We did find the third item in Thieves Town, a piece of heart in the attic chest.
One more item in Thieves Town. So, given this pendant layout, there's still a couple chances for this seed to be really evil. We could see flippers in Ganon's Tower. We could see the Misery Mire Medallion in Ganon's Tower.
I'm not gonna lie. I think flippers in Ganon's Tower is not only possible but likely, given this setup. All right, JP is checking the hint tile inside Spectacle Rock Cave. The boots requires the Cane of Samaria. Okay, so that narrows down the location of the boots to a very few locations. The only places that require the Cane of Samaria in, according to that hint, are Vitreous himself, and the front 3 chests of Turtle Rock, and Trinex.
And right side Ganon's Tower.
There is that. But we know that's not the case because Desert is boots locked.
That is a thing.
So there are literally 5 locations the boots can be. Yeah, there are 4 locations in Turtle Rock that are considered locked behind the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, thank goodness the hints don't take into account hovering, I think.
Yeah. All right, we got bombs, a red rupee, a piece of heart, 10 arrows, and a heart container. So Paradox Cave is kind of devoid of cool stuff.
Yeah, and Jet just digging up some explosives over at the dig game.
I think he got Bombos in there, though. I don't know where he got Bombos, but he got it.
We got 10 arrows up on the island, so not going to bother with that, but we are going to bother with Tower of Hera.
Yep, Tower of Hera being a crystal required to get into Ganon's tower.
Plus, it's all dungeons. Of course, we got a book and a Master Sword, so first, we got a tablet to check.
And peace, just a big 20 on the tablet. All right, Jet's gonna pick up the contents of Hype Cave, get that second sword, and the wonderful Bombos. That's where Bombos was. I'm a dumb.
These runners have been on different routes since Kakariko.
Some arrows is in Ganon's tower, in case you were wondering.
Thanks, Gabe.
I honestly prefer the troll hints to the useless ones.
Yeah, because at least there's a limited number of troll hints.
At least you might get a chuckle out of them, whereas the other ones are just like, that's what you decided to waste your memory space on? That's really what happened here?
Hey, it gives us a chuckle sometimes.
There is that. And BrewersFanJP or JP just heading down to get the contents of the Hera basement chest, which we can assume is going to be the big key at this point.
Yep, coffee break's over.
He's taking a death warp. Meanwhile, Jet is hitting up Palace of Darkness, which we were kind of excited about that potential play earlier.
It's 5 items, it's full clearable. It's a good play.
Alright, there is a small key as well. So once again, I imagine Jet will be checking the big key chest here. And we might potentially hit up the right-hand side.
We have a bug net for JP, and we had another useless hint. Because this isn't inverted. If you haven't been to Blind's hideout yet, what's going on?
Alright, so a big key for Jet in the big key chest does mean he's going to go ahead and head over to the right-hand side, which is bow-locked usually. A unique item requires the hammer. Now that is an interesting hint.
Yeah, there's a limited number of those spots.
So there's some places in Ice Palace, the vast majority of Swamp,
Helmasaur.
King, yes, Spike Cave, requires the hammer.
There's
Okay,
the
we
cane.
got the cane.
And Peg Cave requires the hammer, and left side GT.
Yep. So that's talking about the flippers in GT is what it's talking about.
You may very well be right.
Yeah, Mimic Cave can't be that, even though it does require the hammer, because Mimic is its own thing.
And just got a small key and a big key, so it's time to set up the hammer yump.
There it is. All right, so a map as well in the dark room, so Jet can continue to the back. JP is going to follow suit here and head into Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Palace of Darkness is really coming up with a whole lot.
Well, the cane was here.
Well, other than the cane. Cane is not immediately helpful. Unless they sequence break magic back, then it might be.
There is that. We do need to get a hold of those Titans mitts, and then we can check out, all of Turtle Rock. Some of them. JP could check out Meyer. What is it with people skipping Mini Moldorm Cave recently?
It might just be how many times do you go there and it doesn't have anything, and then the one time you skip it, it has something.
All right. Jet will now be making his way to Helmasaur King. Looking at the fight status here, we've got Master Sword, Hammer, Bow. So this is basically the vanilla fight.
Vanilla with fewer hearts, I think.
If you picked up Sankheart, this is it. Because you'd have 7 at this point. Or the NMG fight, anyway. If you're doing Hundo, you'll probably have a few more.
Yeah. Yeah, this is NMG, so yeah, Jet'll be pretty comfortable with it, I think.
All right, so let's see if Helmasaur is our unique item requiring the hammer.
And there goes the mask.
Jet doing the slash strats to take it down. 8 slashes is what that requires. And meanwhile, JP finds that cane. It's the Titan's mitts. I think that counts.
Yeah, that's a pretty good find.
That might be the unique item that requires the hammer. But for those of you wondering, yes, the progressive gloves, although there are 2 of them, count as unique items. So boots can be in Turtle Rock, or they can also be in Misery Mire on Vitreous.
A Vitreous fight with this setup, though, that doesn't sound fun.
I mean, at least you have a sword.
True.
All right, so Jet is finally checking Mini Moldorm Cave. He's going to be pretty happy with the contents, I imagine. I mean, you might feel a little sad if you're Jet, but at the same time, you didn't have to. You're gonna get to full clear Death Mountain in one go, basically.
As long as Bombos is your Turtle Rock medallion.
There is that. And Jet just still not checking the right side of the Ice Rod Cave, and instead opting for Ice Palace.
Oh, you can full clear it.
And though Ice Palace does tend to be a pain, there's also this whole, massive number of hints now in V30.
Oh, you mean the ones telling him information he's already knows?
I mean, there is that. But, I mean, you expect at least one of them to be useless, but there's a good chance one of them isn't. I also think that Jet might be making this play just because, it doesn't hurt him. And if he drops this race, it's not like the end of the world for him. He's definitely guaranteed a spot in the brackets.
Well, Ice Palace still isn't a bad play. Just
oh no, it's just a play that some might consider a bit of an experiment or a little bit different. And I think Jet feels the freedom to experiment with his play in this race. That's all I'm saying.
Well, part of the advantage of this kind of play is anything he finds here, Cash requires a hook shot. Thanks, Gabe.
You were saying anything he finds here?
He knows is locked behind the flippers.
Right.
So anything he gets will not lead to the flippers.
All right, Jet now making his way down into the later section of Ice Palace using the hook shot here. Of course, the sword would not one-shot them, so that's a situation where you want to use hook shot, or bombs is another strat I see people use, but usually you want the boots for that.
Yeah, so you can bonk out of the way. JP's going to go with an arrow strat here.
Yeah, arrow strats are a little safer, if maybe a little slower. So both of the rods, fire and ice, were in the front of Thieves Town, which is just, insane. So if JP gets over to Thieves Town, he might, get Turtle Rock dancing in his head.
Well, he knows that the boots are Samaria locked, and the boots are needed for desert.
All right, he's fluting to 3, so that does seem to indicate that a Oh, okay. So
Map and a sword fire locked in Mire.
yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, the order in which those things were listed, the second one is the one that's not behind the cutscene room. So it should be a fairly quick trip to actually get that. JP is doing the Magic Bat sequence break. What do we have? Big 20.
Bat wasn't happy with being cheated.
Alright, so JP is going to now head into West Dark World. We're going to get to see his play on probably Skullwoods and Thieves Town. Not necessarily in that order. Oh, you know what? He'll probably, if he's going to Thieves Town first, he'll probably finish Skullwoods.
Yeah. I figured he would have checked Skullwoods first.
Then again, he might not even set foot in Thieves Town. He might just go do, like, blacksmith and stuff. I don't know.
Well, he doesn't have the mirror, so blacksmith be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, blacksmith will be difficult at this point. All right, so Jet facing off against Cold Stare with the Master Sword. So you don't quite have the firepower of these other swords, but we do have the actual fire power, which is in the rod. He is having a little trouble landing those hits, but I imagine he'll finish this off in short order.
Well, he's taken a couple tags from these cold stares, and on Green Mail, they do 4 hearts of damage, so there's still a
he does
possibility.
not want to get hit with a puff. The spikes or the ice from the ceiling is, I mean, I think he could survive 1 or 2 of those. And just a blue rupee on Cold Stare, so that's going to do it for Ice Palace. I don't remember seeing anything particularly useful in Ice Palace other than that hint about the sword.
Yeah, 1 hint about a sword, but I imagine that's going to be Jet's next destination.
All right, so Jet will now be going to activate the flute. You can say hi to everybody's favorite swag duck for a minute.
And Brewers is a Tratini. But he's got both his rods out of Thieves Town. Just got to clear that up, and they'll still be about even.
All right. So I imagine Jet will be heading off to Misery Mire area. Possibly Death Mountain. Yeah, Death Mountain it is. Way more items up here, even though we know there's a sword in Mire.
You know, with hard mode, you can only go up to Tempered Sword. Oh, we do have the hint that Cash is in Mimic Cave, so they don't have to check that.
Yeah, I don't know if Jet checked that while he was in here or not. But but it is going to be useful later on.
That actually makes Turtle Rock a lot more attractive, since the one location that you skip without having the mirror is a non-issue.
Yeah, that is pretty nice, actually.
So Jet just checking now, not going through to actually check the hint. Been seeing that a little bit, as it does take a bit of time to check that hint.
Yeah, I think it really depends on like how far you are into the seed. I think like really early it might be very good, but later on you might not. As we know, Paradox Cave is mostly garbage, though we did get a bottle there as well. But, you know, in an exciting turn of events, pretty soon we will get to see what is in the dark side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, without the mitts, JP was not able to check that on his trip up here. Blind is getting away from JP over here. He's got him down. He's got his piece of heart. Jet's headed over to Tower of Hera. And we'll see where JP goes from here.
All right, so it looks like big. It looks like JP's going to go check Bumper Cave. Of course, we know that's not particularly relevant, and he's going to go for Skull Woods, which, you know, seems like a pretty good play. You've got the fire rod. Go ahead and clear it out.
Yeah, Jet actually didn't do the back once he got that fire rod.
And Jet will be taking his time to go clear out the basement of Hera.
Yeah, we know the big key is locked back here, and that fairy tried to get away from JP.
Alright, so JP is going to the back of Skullwoods first. The problem with this is both the items are in the front. So he's going to waste a little bit of time doing this, but not too much. I do not believe either runner has checked Ice Rod Cave.
I think you're right on that.
I mean, it makes sense given what has happened. But, I mean, if they want to check Ice Rod Cave, it's just a flute to 8 away, so it's pretty quick.
Watch it have the flippers.
That would be gross.
It would have been accessible from the start, though.
Yeah, those flippers are definitely going to be required. You'll clear out swamp.
Yeah, as much as you don't like swamp, you can't cheat swamp.
Yeah, but you can miss the left side, according to our hints. Thank goodness. JP using that fire rod to take down Mothula. Well played.
That was a more kind Mothula than I'm used to seeing. Usually just likes to hang around those spikes.
And Jet taking care of Moldorm. No real problems there. Nice hammer strats. Picks up the last item and is out. Big key for Brewers, for JP. Taking a death.
I kind of miss our multi-eyed Moldorm.
Yeah, Randomizer is a thing, I believe is the technical term for it.
We'll go with that.
Can Dragonite learn Flamethrower? Sorry.
I believe so.
All right, so he can. I seriously just checked it now. Great. I love it.
So JP actually went down the left hole.
That's a little unfortunate because he did use up all his keys. I don't think he got the key from the Gibdo in the back, and so he's gonna have to go the long way out here.
I mean, bright side, at least he won't have to check the big chest.
There is that. All right, Jet now heading to the east side, the northeast side of Death Mountain, gonna open up the portal to Turtle Rock, and we will finally see whether or not we have access.
Does he have the proper medallion to open up the turtle?
He does. Bombos medallion. And Jet will be able to full clear everything in Turtle Rock and doesn't need to clear Mimic Cave. Though he doesn't know that.
Meanwhile, JP is going to check our other medallion.
All right, so Misery Mire, also a possibility. Let's see what we get. It is Quake. And nothing resembling Quake from either side of the screen.
Yeah, Hookshot Cave only coming up with a shield. And hard mode, you can't get mirror shields, so not quite as useful.
Now, with that being said, BrewersFanJP also heading up to Turtle Rock. So we've got sort of a convergence after both players have done 5 dungeons.
Yeah, for Jet, the only other dungeon he can clear is Skull Woods. BrewersFanJP, the only other dungeon he can clear is a sequence broken ice palace. So this is it.
It's like, how about no?
Have we seen a shield in plain sight yet?
Was there a hint for a shield in plain sight?
Front of Turtle Rock.
Uh-huh. Oh, that just happened, apparently. Hey, magic powder. So, that big 20's in logic now.
Yay!
And I mean, there is a place here in Turtle Rock where that powder is actually somewhat useful. You can get 4 whole hearts.
You do have a point.
I mean, you're not excited about that? I am, sort of.
I think Jet could use those 4 whole hearts right now. Yeah, he's not even chancing that roller.
There's the boots that we were talking about.
Hey, they were Mario locked.
There you go. So that is going to do it for the boots, meaning we can access desert completely. But Jet will more than likely be finishing this out. Now, from this point onward, I can predict the contents of the next 2 chests, because I am psychic. There will be a small key in one of them. In the next one, actually. And there will be a big key in the one after that. It's not a psychic thing. It's because that's the way the logic works.
Yeah.
That is true. Key logic is not a magical power.
So we have access to GT once, because we can clear all the crystals now.
There is that. And then we can go get the flippers out of GT. Keep telling you.
And the mirror, and Quake.
Yeah, they could all be in there. There's that big key for Jet.
And JP's using that cape, but it takes double magic in hard mode.
Yeah, if I were JP, I'd be tempted to take the Death Warp and use this opportunity to fill up your magic with that thing at the front. But we can fill it up here as well.
Yeah, but now he's still 1 chain chomp hit from death.
All right, so Jet now entering the big chest entrance. We've got a B-Torp.
Bees!
Not the bees!
And then we're going to have a small key here.
My goodness. Where did you get those powers? All right. Jet now heading into the dark room of Turtle Rock, which is, to be fair, actually one of the less difficult dark rooms to do dark if you stick to the plan.
Yeah, the moment you get off the rails, it's not so fun.
I mean, if you get off the rails, you've fallen in a hole.
Which is really not fun.
Hey, Tempered Sword on Laser Bridge. That means Jet probably won't even go for the free sword in Mire.
Oh, you mean the free 20 rupees?
Oh, yeah. There is that. Good old hard mode. Now, there is no mirror to check Mimic Cave, but luckily, Jet, even though Jet doesn't know this, there's nothing important there. JP, however, does know that there's nothing important there.
Also, JP putting the powder to use there, getting those 4 hearts you were talking about earlier.
And there we go. Jet takes down both heads of Trinex, skillfully dodging the thrusting head there, because any one shot from that, it would have resulted in a death.
Gets the 2 spins, 1 slash, and Trinex is down. What's he got? Oh, right. No items left.
2 spins, 1 slash, I'm pretty sure is like a viral internet video. And we're just going to leave that one lying there. All right.
Okay. Is Jet going to go ahead and check Spike Cave while he's here?
Yeah, looks like it. Spike Cave completely in logic. And of course, in Spike Cave, the little debuffs to the cape and cane and things like that do not apply. Ho! Sick, useless boomerang.
Yep, hard mode. Boomerang doesn't stun.
Basically, the only thing to be used for is picking up items, which I guess you can use in Aga Tower, because you're going to need to do that.
Just about to get his information that, yeah, you don't have the right medallion for this.
That is going to be unfortunate, but the good news is you can clear desert. I expect a clear on desert and a clear on Skull Woods from Jet pretty soon. And then just, I mean, YOLO GT.
JP might full clear Ice Palace first, trying to find the Quake.
I feel like, you know, I feel like I'd go for GT first, just knowing that Ice Palace is out of logic. That being said, I am not JP. And Jet now heading to finish off Desert Palace. We know this particular chest will contain a small key, but the rest of the chests are still up for grabs. There's only one item left in Desert. As we recall, the other item was the Moon Pearl, which we got quite a while ago.
Yeah, I've seen some weird locations for the Moon Pearl lately. Or at least some out-of-the-way locations. There's our second item.
Yep, that's it. So Jet will now, I imagine, just be heading directly to Landmola's. One interesting play you could make is, after completing Desert, you could make a play for the Pyramid Fairy.
After Jet clears Skullwoods.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Which, yeah, it's definitely a good play to make, because who wants to full clear GT?
It looks like JP is skipping Spike Cave, which is going to be good for him.
I think JP had the hint. And doesn't have mirror.
There was a hint for Spike
Oh,
Cave?
sorry. I thought you said Mimic. My mind was on Mimic Cave. Wrong cave.
So they've dipped every dungeon that they can get to. Yeah, I think JP is doing something that neither runner has done yet. That is checking these bonk locations.
Well, King's Tomb have our answer.
Nope. It does have an 11th heart for JP, though. And Jet now picking up his 6th crystal. Oh, guys, we're getting the Ice Rod Cave check.
That's a rude guard.
Just 5 rupees.
Well, it was the right color of what we wanted.
Yeah, just about. I mean, I would have settled for yellow, to be honest, but... Alright, JP and Jet now in the same building at the same time with the same number of crystals.
And the same intention. Here, take my money. Give me some blue goo.
Alright, JP now heading into Desert Palace. Gonna finish this off, and I imagine a play directly to Ganon's Tower will be forthcoming. I think JP is thinking he might check Spike Cave on the way up to or after Ganon's Tower. Like, if he clears out the basement of GT and doesn't find what he's looking for, he might dip outside, check it, and come back.
Sounds like a play.
Alright, JP grabs the big key. We'll see if he decides to clear out the rest of the dungeon looking for that second item. Looks like that is going to be the case.
You know, neither of them's paid off King Ripoff, have they?
That is true. Nobody's been to Zora.
And he's been in Logic for a while.
Yeah, Meyer is the Quake medallion today. The tracker at the bottom of the screen will actually show you that, if you look at it.
So at this point, they're both mirror, flippers, and Quake from Go mode. What do you want to see as your Go mode item?
I want to see flippers as Go mode. Because that would allow me to go, like, actually Go mode Swamp and Ice.
Yeah, I think Mirror only unlocks 2 overworld locations, other than Mimic Cave, but they already know Mimic Cave is garbage.
Alright, so both runners now have their 7th crystal. So I guess it's time to start the game. As soon as we know that one of them's going to GT, we should start the game.
Yeah, because the pyramid could be a thing.
Because right now, Jet looks to be doing that play I was talking about a minute ago with the Pyramid Fairy check.
Looks like Brewers went straight to the back, so he's going to look for that other item.
Right, he's gonna pick it up pretty quick, though. Looks like JP, though, might be making the play.
Hey, you know, I think we should start the game now. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a subscriber or have donated at least 250 bits to one of the Speed Gaming channels, your guess will count for toward the Big Key guessing game, and if you are correct or the closest one, then your name will be put onto the leaderboard.
Yep. So, Pyramid Fairy is double big 20.
Wow.
And JP is headed for GT, as is Jet. So I think JP will be the first one to enter GT, and that will mean that he will be the one whose count we use. When JP enters Ganon's Tower, that is when we will cut off the game. So that's going to be pretty quick. When he enters on our screen, so it might already have happened by now.
So this would be really interesting if we see a left-right divergence.
That's quite possible.
So wouldn't a big key on one be kind of funny, considering they're still probably going to look for those flippers?
Oh yeah, you clear the whole basement. Like, unless you find all 3 items you're looking for, you clear the whole basement. Quake! Okay. And a small key. So Quake is the Misery Mire medallion, so that's one piece of the puzzle. And JP is going for Tile Room, the Madman.
So, have we had any hints about the green pendant yet?
None that I know of. Jet also going for Tile Room. And we've got bombs.
They had to do it.
Oh boy. All right, so that was 3 chests. Still no big key. JP picking up a little magic there. And
Hey, it's
there's the
4.
big key, chest number 4. And we've got basically a whole lot of garbage. But we did get a second shield. That's not the worst.
I think the last shield might have been on the torch then.
All right, so JP is heading for full right side play here, as is Jet. So both runners taking the exact same route through Ganon's Tower.
Also,
I was wrong. Jet is taking a death warp.
oh yeah, I guess without a mirror, that does kind of change plans. And also, congratulations, Hull City. You were our closest guess with 3.
All right, 5 rupees in Bob's chest. I think the shield is on Zora Ledge is where it is. Because nobody's been to Zora.
I'm not used to no one checking Zora an hour and 22 minutes in.
All right, JP with a nice stretch for Ice Armos. And Jet checking all of Stolfos' room for some keys. And JP finds a shovel behind Ice Armos.
I wouldn't be surprised if we, dug up a mirror to polish.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to witness a momentous occasion as JP is going to check the big chest of Ganon's Tower. Or not.
I think he forgot.
He can just walk out, sure.
I mean, he can check it at last, but he's right. Oh boy,
Making a liar out of me.
hey, we got blue mail.
Well, it's about time. You better hope the flippers or the mirror aren't there.
Well, here's the last chance to not have to check that chest.
Jet finds Ether and the mirror.
It's still not flippers.
That is not flippers, you are correct. I mean, JP could, after checking Rando Room, just go ahead and head back out and check it anyway. But it is a bit of a time loss, especially since he's going to find that mirror, and he could have used it to mirror out.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But we're not used to having to check that chest.
Jet is actually going for the big chest right now. What do we have? Bombs. Okay, so nothing important. It was blue.
Right color, wrong use.
But, you know what the good news is? Flippers are now the go mode item. Which means JP will actually get to completely go mode Ice Palace and Swamp Palace. Jet has already full cleared Ice Palace, so there's that. And it looks like JP is going to go back for that big chest. We could always find the flippers in the dig spot. That would be fun.
this point, I think it'd be more fun if it was vanilla.
Oh my goodness, that's gross.
Yeah, but we're not the ones running it.
All right, so Jet now heading up GT, and BrewersFanJP will be headed right up behind him. Yeah, the silvers, you don't have access to the silvers except in Ganon's room in hard mode, and you do have to remember to switch to them.
Yeah, if you collect the silvers without a bow, your icon will turn silver, but the moment you collect the bow, it turns back to wooden arrows. Now, depending on where those flippers are, this is going to be really quick for an all-dungeon seed.
Yeah, quite possibly. Now, I expect for both of our runners, upon completing Ganon's Tower, to go ahead and finish out Aga Tower as it is required, and they have the mirror to make it a quick trip. But after that, we'll be seeing a mad dash for the flippers. Unless, of course, the flippers are in one of the 4 chests at the top of Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that'd be too nice. We've still got a graveyard ledge and a grove ledge, and
Dig
of course,
spot.
and a dig spot, and a king ripoff.
Hobo. Hobo won't have the flippers, though.
But the green pendant can.
Sure can. And we only know one of the 2 items in Misery Mire.
Also, did Bombo's tablet get checked?
Of course not. You can't reach it without the mirror.
Derp.
All right, two items checked, no flippers. So only 2 chests left before the post-GT search begins.
Whoa!
Jet, what are you doing? I was worried for a second there. Like, are you really going to risk that the flippers are not there?
I was going to say, if he skipped that, those flippers were there. Yeah.
Well, we got something blue in the final chest there, but it is just a blue boomerang, which is basically as useless as what's normally there.
We got Naga.
All right, a double shot from Jet in the first phase. Gets a bit of an unfortunate blue projectile for phase 2. Gets 1 hit in there. And another 1 for the 3rd cycle.
Got 2 to go.
And that'll do it. 2112 Jet082 finishing off Aga 2. But he's still got 3 dungeons left to go.
It's almost time for the blue ball guesses. Because Jet's immediately going to go to Aga 1 now.
And of course, Aga 1's tower will not have any items of any consequence. This is not a key sanity seed, but still required for all dungeons.
Yep, no key sanity, no retro, just boring old keys in the tower.
Oh yeah, retro mode can have that. That didn't occur to me.
Well, that guard decided he didn't want to be turned into bacon. Did they ever check catfish?
Don't think so.
I don't think so either. I almost forgot about that one. That might turn them away from Zora. That does not work, Jet. That does not work.
All right, Jet now watching the maiden that he's already rescued get somehow sent to the Dark World.
Hey, at least he doesn't have to go back and rescue them.
It's a time paradox.
But at least it's not a pedestal paradox.
All right, 2 hits and 2 unfortunate blue projectiles.
We're getting a lot more blue projectiles.
We're up to 4 now, it looks like. Yeah, Cash with the fishes is either Catfish or Zora. Could be both.
5 blue projectiles.
And there we go, 5 it is.
It's kind of funny that after you kill Aga, suddenly the posts for the fence are gone too.
There you go. All right, so Jet is making the sensible play here and heading into Misery Mire. That is something that needs to be done. And of course, at the end of it, we can get a green pendant checked as well.
And Meyer also only has one item left, and it is not on the left side.
So yeah, Butter would be in left side if this weren't hard mode. Look at your sword. Now back to me. Now back at your sword. Now back to me. The sword is now rupees.
I liked my sword better when it was butter.
Well, that is actually it. Jet has found the other item in Misery Mire. If he remembers the hint, or if he got the hint. Did he get the hint? I don't know if he got the hint.
I thought it was on the way for both of them. I think they got the hint. Now he still has to go over here to flip the switch because we still don't have a big key.
Yep, Jet playing like he knows what's up. And JP is going to go ahead and check Checkerboard Cave before heading inside. Big key for Jet, and that will send him to Vitreous. Just a big 20 over in Checkerboard Cave. I feel like I would have gone left there to get to Vitreous.
With the teleport point, it might be close to the same time.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, someone knows. Someone has timed this game to, like, every possible thing. It's probably Jet, so he probably knows.
That'd probably be a pretty good guess.
Flippers on Vitreous is not going to be possible because we know where both items in Misery Mire are. The flippers could, however, be on the green pendant, which comes from Vitreous.
Oh, it looks like that shot was a little left for Jet.
No, Vitreous can also have a small key.
Oh, it looks like Jet got tagged by an eyeball there instead of the goo. JP either did not get the hint or forgot. Hey, wait a second. That was a red 20.
It was. The only time they get turned into the green 20s is in actual swordless mode.
Huh. Looks like Jet was about to go away and then remembered, oh, wait, there's a checkerboard cave over here.
All right, so Jet sees the big 20 there, and it looks like he'll be heading for some other random locations, most of which, or first and foremost, will be that green pendant.
I just realized once Jet finishes this, he'll have a he'll end up with a full tracker for hard difficulty.
More blue things that just don't happen to go on your feet.
Of course they do. Haven't you ever heard of bomb jumping?
Oh!
Oh, just going to go check Bumper Cave. I thought there was going to be a graveyard ledge check.
I think he's actually going to check the lumberjack, because he didn't check it. All right, JP picks up the green pendant as well.
So now JP is flippers from go mode with 2 dungeons left. Jet is flippers from go mode with 1 dungeon left. And they're running out of locations.
All right, so Jet's going to check the graveyard ledge here. He's going to check King's Tomb, which we know is not a thing. And then I imagine that will follow right into a Catfish and Zora check. So that's pretty good routing.
And from JP, this looks like this is going to be a Grove ledge check.
Yeah, and potentially Bombo's tablet as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I don't think he did Pyramid Fairy either.
He didn't, but that'll probably be after these.
Oh, 300 rupees. And that's it for BrewersFanJP. Interestingly enough, Jet deciding not to go over to Catfish and Zora. Oh, he's going to do Smith Chain.
And then that'll go into Bombos. Yeah, because we didn't get a purple chest hint. We didn't get a graveyard ledge hint. We haven't seen a lot of the really useful location hints other than Mimic Cave.
There it is! It's in Cave 45. And JP has the flippers and can now go mode Swamp and Ice. Jet will be picking up those flippers pretty soon, though, so he's got a very, very short time to make it up.
Yeah, this is going to tighten it up a little bit, but I say Jet still has the advantage.
All right, so Jet will be picking up his flippers in roughly, I'm going to say, like 20 seconds.
Yep, pretty much 20 seconds.
And there it is. Jet picks up the flippers. Now he just needs to go mode Swamp, and he's done.
Yeah, and he'll probably be in Swamp at the same time as JP.
It's a little interesting he elected to leave his portal and then come to this other one. I think that's just a little, go mode happens. You're like, yeah, let's go. Oh, wait.
Me also brought a bit to make sure he ditched the chest.
All right, JP is now in the back of Swamp.
Go mode Swamp, one of the fastest dungeons. Full clear Swamp, bit of a pain. Isn't that right, Dr. Bob?
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, you definitely want to go mode Swamp if you get the chance.
Or at least not do left side. We got
And JP makes it to Argus.
Great thing about Temper Sword, you can take these puffs down with a single slash.
Yep. With some pretty fancy controller work involving a hook dash and then successive hooks, you can actually just hold out your sword and poke them to death. It's a fairly precise trick.
And JP's going to be on his way over to Ice Palace to finish his final dungeon.
Unfortunately for him, Jet is approaching Argus right now. And Jet will be able to simply finish Argus immediately.
And then save and quit and be right at the top of the pyramid.
And Jet takes down Argus.
Crowd squid, anyone? Actually, what is Argus?
I mean, based on the number of R's in his name, I'm going to say a pirate.
Wait, Jet just took out the mirror. Oh. Just not doing a save quit, he's going to keep his health.
Yep. Seems like a pretty legit way to pull it off. And it's time for a Ganon fight. Who's ready for bacon?
Bacon. But wait, that's blue bacon.
JP having a little trouble with the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Jet missed the one cycle phase 2 by a single slash. With one heart, this is a bit risky.
He does have a blue potion on hand if necessary.
Yeah, but siding against it right now.
Did you find the arrows literally next to the bow? Maybe not literally next to the bow, but pretty stinking close. And there we go, Jet finishing off Ganon. The only thing Jet's missing is like a heart piece. You could get 14 in this mode.
Yeah, one heart container of 4 pieces. But Jet finishes in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 28 seconds.
And we are immediately joined by Jet082. Congratulations on the win.
Hey,
my goodness.
That's a seed.
That is, I believe, the correct interpretation of this particular set of circumstances.
All of the pendant items required to beat the pendant dungeons were off of GT. Which actually is a rather nice seed. I mean, if this was a defeat Ganon, it would have been sort of ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it would have been like the craziest seed if it was just Ganon. Looks like JP has just finished up Ice Palace and is heading into the Ganon fight right now. So a pretty close race, all things being said.
Yeah. It looks like it's really close. And I felt really bad about that Ice Palace fake flipper. I was just sort of in the area because I did South Shore, and I'm like, I want to head and do some dungeons, and I'm like, ice is right here, let's go do ice. And I'm like, oh, I don't have flippers. I'll just fake flipper to it. That's such a bad idea.
You can go in there and think, you know, anything I find in here can't be flippers locked, or you know, it gives me information about where the flippers might be, but of course there's nothing really there.
I mean, yeah, at the time, Mirror and Boots could have been in there, so I'm like, you know what? It's still worth a check.
Yeah, and I think the only hint that was of any value was the third one talking about the sword in mire.
Right, I marked that in my head. I'm like, well, I sort of keep track on the tracker that there's an item in here, and I was going to get it, but of course we got a sword, and I think it was Turtle Rock. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Skipping that.
And then, of course, you find the one item in that one chest there. It's like, oh, well, now I just need Big Key.
Well, so at the time I was worried that since I didn't check Lumberjack yet, and there was a few things I could have checked before Ganon's Tower that maybe could have had flippers, I'm like, you know, I might be wasting time by going into Mire, but it's a dungeon and I should do it. And I got the item and then the big key. I'm like, okay, this isn't a time loss. Like, you have to get these things anyway. I mean, you're gonna check that chest where the blue rupee was, so it's not too bad.
And GG to JP, who finishes off Ganon with a 156.10.
It looked like JP had a weird glitch on Ganon there, because at one point he lit the right torch and it showed both torches lit, but the left torch actually was not lit.
Yeah, he had reverse torch glitch. Which I've seen before. It's just really weird. And welcome, JP. Congratulations on finishing that race, and very close race.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, GG.
Yeah, GG.
So yeah, JP, you had some pretty good calls there. You were the first of our runners to enter Ganon's Tower, which was of course blocking everything for the pendant dungeons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think I've seen a seat like that before. Like, I think, what was it, entering Ganon's Tower at 110 and still having so much to do.
Yeah. I mean, like, imagine for a minute that this is a defeat Ganon and not an all dungeon seed. How do you feel about the seed now?
This is a great seed if this is a defeat Ganon seed.
It's not even like weird items like medallions that were in there. It's mirror, which threw me off a number of times. Flippers. It's like these are important things that you want to get. And Quake, which is one of the medallions. But yeah, mirror and flippers.
Yeah, it's like when the seeds started, I knew at least flippers had a possibility of being in GT. And then as I was going, I started realizing, wait, there's a possibility all three of these are in GT. So once I had the boots, I think? I knew I could go for GT. So I didn't start go moding anything because I knew, of course, I needed to make sure I'm checking everything in case by chance I find one of those three items I still need. But I mean, this is definitely a first. You don't think of a seed like this. It's so weird.
It's like Ganon's Tower is the midpoint of the seed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just really weird to think about. Like, this is almost more feeling like what is it? An entrance rando, because in an entrance rando you'd probably be in GT much earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you say that, that's pretty accurate.
Well, early on I also had some fun with the seed. I decided, hey, you know what? I've got access to these dungeons in essentially NMG mode. The seed we rolled is essentially NMG. Let's just do them in NMG order, since I have no better ideas on how to route this.
I mean, when we were given the bell right away, I'm like, yeah, I guess this is the path. We're gonna do Eastern, and we have Book. Let's go do Desert. Why not? But where we diverge is I never did South Shore until later on. So after Desert, I just did the normal Dark World stuff until much later when I'm like, oh, Flute and Hookshot, which I could see why you'd want to go up there. And I was super glad I did Pod first. So I was able to put everything, especially going into Turtle Rock at that point in time. Of course, that was after I did my Ice Palace play. So probably put me behind at that point.
Well, I mean, I could have probably routed this a little better had I done Pod and took Thieves Town earlier. But I don't feel like I lost too much time with the going up Death Mountain early. Maybe a little with an extra climb, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I had left after that. I mean, with the gold gloves, I could have opted to do like hammer pegs blacksmith and purple chest. Like you could do a save and quit and check those things. So those were extra that were unlocked, but that's really it. And ice, I never went to Ice Rock Cave, so that and Zora on top of that.
Yeah, we were throwing around the possibility of what if it's on Catfish or Zora.
Oh man, so you never checked Zora either?
Nope, never checked Zora area. When I knew early on that the flippers had the possibility of being in GT, I put any idea of fake flippers out of my mind.
It's a pretty good strategy, I think. So we also saw that hint for the shield in plain sight. We were assuming that that's going to be Zora Ledge at this point.
Well, it could turn into a rupee because you can't get Mirror Shield.
Right, it's going to be a rupee now because both of you guys picked up the fire shield. But yeah, we were just kind of curious about that a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks once again for putting on a show here. Anything else you guys would like to say before we wrap things up here?
That was fun. GG's to you, JP. I don't know if you have any more races left, but good luck.
Yeah, I still have 2 races left. One against Chloe, one against Sabo. Those could basically decide what happens with the second bracket spot in our group. I really
close. It's a race for that.
Yeah, I need you to beat Sabatender again.
And there's like a half a game separating each of you in there.
So yeah, I kind of need to beat both of them to maybe have a chance at outright. And if I lose one of those, I could still maybe force a tiebreaker. But there still is a crazy cut possibility, I think, of a 4-way tiebreaker in our group. I'm not 100% sure if that still is the case, but yeah, there is still a very weird possibility of like a multi-way tiebreaker for our group.
Maybe. I think it's possible if you all finish 7-8.
Yeah, but if I win my next 2, I still would outright make the bracket. I think it depends on how Sabo does against Jet.
Uh-oh, no pressure.
All right. So thank you once again to both of our runners, Jet and JP. Thank you so much for putting on a show today.
Thank you.
I want to thank our tracker, Holsty, for keeping up with the action here. And of course, my co-commentator, DarkShadows59. Couldn't have done it without you, sir.
Hey, it's been a pleasure commentating with you.
All right. So with that, it has been a pleasure commentating this seat as well. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, the best way to help those out involved is give them a follow here on Twitch, and everybody here, I'm sure, would appreciate that quite a bit. So with that, we're going to wrap things up here. So I'll just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And I've been DarkShadows59.
And we'll see you later.